Hi, this is JFK assassination researcher Richard Hooke, and this is part 2 of my video on Jackie Kennedy's CIA hit lady. So here we are, the picture of the limousine hit team, the shooters Greer and Jackie, and the spotters Kellerman and Clint Hill. Okay, so here, basically, I just wanted to show on the Zapruder film from about 160 to 207, as Jackie rode into the plaza, she's back in the corner of the car. The first shot is rung out, and she doesn't react at all. She's still sitting in the back corner of the car, as you can see right there, as they're starting to go behind the freeway sign, okay? And so they come out from behind the freeway sign, and JFK has been shot in the throat, and Jackie just looks at him and does nothing. She doesn't react at all. And that continues until what she starts to do first is to pull his left arm away and clear his face and get him in position so she and Greer could shoot him. And that's what she's starting to do here. And in 312, she's got the Lambchop puppet under the left side of his head with a gun in it, ready to shoot him 1/18th of a second later up through his head. Okay, so here's, after they came out from behind the freeway sign, JFK's been shot in the throat. Jackie's looking at him, doing nothing in the furthest corner of the car possible. I mean, it looks like she's just even grinning at him, really. And here is the umbrella man with his fist held up, signaling the driver, William Greer, to stop the car because JFK hasn't been shot in the head, and they're going to have to, the limousine hit team's going to have to take him out. Okay, and here was when Jackie first puts her right arm up and starts to pull President Kennedy's left arm away from his face. You can see she has a grim look on her face, and she's realizing that she's going to have to shoot him because it hasn't gotten done. He hasn't been shooting in the back of the head. He hadn't been shot like they wanted. He's been hit with a flechette. He was hit in the flechette in the side of his throat, so he's frozen straight up. But he hasn't been hit like they wanted, and so Jackie and Greer are realizing that they're going to have to take him out. There's another shot. John Conley was shot there, and she's removing the left arm away from his face to clear it out. No expression on her face. Okay, and just more of how she didn't react, and then she set him up to get shot. Okay, again, this is where she's pulling that left arm away. She's getting it out of there, so she's going to be able to come in with her arm underneath and shoot him. But that arm was in the way. She had to get it out of the way. So here she grabs the arm, she pulls it and pulls it away even more. She's getting it away to clear out the inner side of his head where she and the driver Greer shot him in 313 eventually. Okay, and here is some shots of William Greer where he first looks back, then he looks forward, and then he looks back again and starts to bring his gun around. You can see it right here in 306. And here he's bringing it around further, and it's starting to level out. And you can see his arm, and it's not part of Kellerman's head in this one here. It's not a reflection here. It's between Greer and Kellerman's head. Here he's leveling it out in 308. And somewhere around 313, you can see his arm and hand, and it's right there between Greer and Kellerman. Approximately the same time, 313, when Jackie shot up, Greer also shot him in the left temple. And then here's after that, and Greer's turned around and gassing it out of there. So here's just some pictures of the Lambchop puppet. It was a prop used by a Jewish comedian in New York, Shari Lewis. And I'm just showing her. She did a lot of children's videos and stuff with the talking puppets, and Lambchop was one of them. And I just wanted to show you how you put your hand in the back. It's how Jackie, there apparently was a gun in there. And she was slipped the Lambchop puppet at Love Field and put it in the roses between her and JFK. And she shot through the puppet, so nobody was ever able to even see the gun. Now, Jean Hill, this is in 288, was standing right there. And she said afterwards she saw a little dog in the car. Okay, she mentioned that. And they all tried to say she wasn't a reliable witness because there was no dog in the car. But later it came out that there was a Lambchop puppet because there's photos of Jackie with the puppet leaving with it in the roses at Love Field, so it couldn't be denied. So obviously the dog that Jean Hill saw moving around between JFK and Jackie was not a dog. It was Jackie's left hand moving the puppet up to shoot him. Okay, but Jean Hill said she saw a little dog in there, and they all tried to make fun of her. But really, that was the best observation of all from Jean Hill. And here's just some. This is a blow up of 312. The last shot frame, 1/18 of a second before Jackie shot, and we've blown it up here, and you can see. The puppet was on her hand. I mean, this is obviously the little dog that Jean Hill was talking about. I mean, it's right there on her left hand. And 1/18 of a second later, she shot up through his head on the inside there. So it's on her, and she didn't take it off. In 1/18 of a second, the bullet went up and through. So this is it. The puppet's on, and obviously the gun was inside. Okay, so here's 312 again, the same thing that in the previous one. Okay, and then she shot in 313 through the head of the puppet. You can see the puppet's eyes and nose and a flap blown out. The bullet went up like that. Here's the trajectory of the blast, and there's smoke around his head. Now the smoke could only come from a shot right there because smoke comes out from a gun, from the barrel of a gun. It doesn't come from when a bullet is shot from far away, and when smoke can only come from a shot right where it happens. You know, and the witnesses did say that they heard a firecracker, and it sounded like it was in the left rear of the car. I mean, that's what they said, okay? I mean, so she wrestled with JFK, wrestled him into position, basically. I mean, like the hit lady that she was. I mean, she was holding his left hand and arm down with her right and shooting him over that with her left arm and hand, you see. JFK was fighting her to bring his left arm and hand to his throat because that was causing him not to be able to breathe, but she had to hold his left arm down with her right arm so she could keep it clear to shoot him up with her left. And it went right through Lambchop's head, the shot. There's a flap. The bullet went up. There I draw it in the way the flap is. Flap blasted out. Let's see. Maybe I could help. You see. There's Lambchop. Okay, and all the blood on his shirt is on his left side, in the front and the back. Came down by gravity. I mean, obviously, there was a bullet wound, a bad bullet wound on the left side of his head from Jackie. I mean, that's where all the blood's coming down. And James Files' shot came in on this side, but it all flew out the back, okay, and over the policeman and the left side of the car. But this shot went up and bled out down on the president through his suit, all over his shirt. So this bleeding on the shirt obviously came from Jackie's shot. And here we have a picture of the limousine down at Parkland, and Lambchop is over in the corner, and you can see in the head it looks like it's been blasted out, and there's like the flap over here. And Lambchop's laying in the corner of the car there that was left in there, apparently. It's Lambchop. Okay, so again, in 313, here was Jackie's shot going up. And then at approximately the same time, William Greer, here's his pistol. His shot came in and hit JFK in the left temple. There was a small entry wound in JFK's left temple, reported it by CIA agent Huggins at the Bethesda autopsy. Okay, here's another shot of Jackie's shot. So you can see the shot going up, smoke around his head, trajectory of the blast. And this is the expelled bullet, bone and brain material that went up and came down by the infield manhole cover. Jackie's palm pistol was inside the Lambchop puppet. I mean, you can really see the smoke here a lot. That could only come from where the bullet was expelled from the gun. Okay, here's I just wanted to show the two guys who did the temple shots. So here we have James Files at the lower picket fence, a defrangible bullet in JFK's right temple, and William Greer, the driver, Secret Service driver, who fired a shot with a special toxin pistol and hit JFK in his left temple. So these are the two assassins. William Greer was a Freemason who put the temple shots into JFK. Okay, and here's a picture that Agent Huggins described at Bethesda autopsy, a very small wound where William Greer's toxin pellet from the special pistol went in JFK's left temple. Okay, witness Hugh Betzner. Okay, he was located here. Okay, and he said he saw what looked like a firecracker going off in the president's car and recalled seeing what looked like a nickel revolver in someone's hand. So obviously, being that Jackie shot through the puppet, the nickel revolver that he saw was Greer's. So he saw Greer's revolver and he heard Jackie's shot, basically. Now, Greer's revolver was actually a special pistol, the driver, and it wouldn't have made any noise because it was an air pneumatic that shot the toxin pellet. It was a CIA special pistol, so it wouldn't have made any noise. So obviously the firecracker sound was Jackie's, and the silver gun that he saw, that he said was in the car, was Greer's. There's another shot that I showed before. And here's from the front, from the back side. See, this is from Zapruder, from his pedestal on the grassy knoll. And this is from Mary Mormon from the back. And clearly you can see Jackie's exit hole. I mean, there it is. It's big. It's right there. On the inside of his head. That's not Files. That's Jackie's hole. And you can see the brain matter blowing up above his head. You see, there's Jackie's exit hole right there. There's no question about it. There's some other shots where it shows, actually you can see James Files' exit hole over there and Jackie's over there. So you can see them both in the Mormon photo. Jackie's exit hole, James Files' large exit hole. Jackie's exit hole, James Files' exit hole. In the Mormon photo, enhanced. Here it is again, the same thing. Jackie's exit hole, James Files, large exit hole in the right rear. Excuse me, here's Jackie on Air Force One with no blood because she changed her suit. And obviously they cleaned her up because that blood had deadly toxin in it from Greer's pistol. And she's basically giving the seal of approval to swear in the Vice President, Lyndon Johnson, who was a big criminal and was going to be under investigation the following week. But she's given it the seal of approval. She was a conspirator. And once Johnson was in charge, they got the Illuminati got the agenda they were looking for. I mean, that's what it was all about. Okay, so that's the end of part 2. I'll be back with part 3 shortly.